Tell us who you're on camera so the people.
Sure. Tony, T-O-N-Y, Kennon, K-E-N-N-O-N, Mayor, City of Orange Beach.
You were saying a minute ago that you were not happy just finding out about this today, and you were not aware of it.
No, I'm not happy at all, no, sir. We've been asking for a senior BP official to come down and sit down and visit with us since the 1st of May. And for them to show up today without even the courtesy of a call is very disappointing, and is very insightful into BP's mode of operation.
He's saying that the tar balls are not toxic. Clearly the beach, I mean, earlier today, it was beautiful Saturday. There were not more than 200-300 people there. This place should be packed.
Yeah, well, they may not, I don't know if they're toxic from a physiological point of view, but they're toxic to our economy, I'll tell you that. So, you know, we should be like Disney World. Somebody throws a piece of trash down, there ought to be somebody right behind it getting it up within 10 seconds. Those tar balls have been on the beach for 6 hours this morning. They may still be there, I don't know. But it's really aggravating for someone to walk in here who's never been to our town and put on a pretty rosy picture when it's just not the case. Now, contractors are hardworking guys, don't want to beat up on them, but the the lack of resources. We had a large mat of oil coming in off the beach. We spotted it through aerial reconnaissance. We got it boomed up. Could not get a skimmer here in time before it made landfall. That's inexcusable. We should have skimmers lined up at this pass, at Fort Morgan, at Dauphin Island, rafted up together. There's no such thing as overkill in a situation like this. I don't care how much money BP has to spend. I want the resources here to handle any situation. I don't care what it is. That is their job. They're not doing us a favor by cleaning this mess up. That is the least I expect from BP. And the claims issue is even worse. We got folks that cannot pay mortgages, cannot pay their bills because our cash flow crisis started when Memorial Day came around. That's the way the tourism industry works. We are having a nightmare, and I hope that we can shed some light on the, again, mode of operation and get some help down here.
You've heard a lot of promises, but to date, how much has actually been delivered?
I don't know if you can get anything less than 0, but in my book, we're pretty close to 0. I'm just very frustrated, and I'm not a business owner anymore. The folks that are in business are the ones that are hurting and frustrating, scared to death, they're anxious, they have no idea what's coming. We just climbed out of a hole from 2 hurricanes and a 2-year recession. This was our year. Numbers were up. It was going to be a banner year, and BP has killed it, and that's their fault. It's their problem. But I want my folks taken care of. I want them to start writing checks, and I want them to start writing them right now. And I'm tired of them worrying about, or they're trying to hold back $100 because they're scared there might be $1 in fraud. I don't have time for that nonsense. Neither do our businesses. We need to be taken care of. We may not ever have an ounce of oil on our beach, but our economy is devastated from the national perception that our beaches look like Louisiana.
Sir, he talked about local people being hired for the cleanup crews. Do you have knowledge that any of those people are inmates or people other from around here?
I do not. Like the gentleman, I think it was Mr. Carroll, said in the back, we had been trying to get a list for now 5 weeks of who was in the Vessel of Opportunity program, so I would know, number one, to protect our folks, so we know who was in town working, and number 2, who was competing with our private businesses, number 3, who's on the water making a paycheck, and they refused to give me that list.
Do you have initiatives that you'd like to do, but you can't get permission from the Unified Command to do them?
Everything just seems to move at a snail's pace. That's the, you know, we don't have all of our strategies in place for the pass here. That bothers me. I'm hoping that they're going to be in the next couple of weeks. Not having enough skimmers here, I mean, not having a seagoing skimmer at this pass, which you would think would be the basic piece of equipment needed. I don't know how you excuse that. I really don't.
How about the underwater plumes? Are you aware of any that are approaching that the skimmers and all that will do nothing to prevent?
Yeah, that scares me to death. I've asked that question on multiple occasions. Is this surface material? Is 90% surface? I don't know that anyone can give us a definite. I know that I suggested several weeks ago they put divers in the water. They sort of laughed at that idea, and I'll be dogged on ABC News I saw Philippe Cousteau in a dry suit showing plumes 25 and 30 feet deep under the surface material. Now, you know, that may have been an aberration, I don't know, but now it gives me enough worry that it is suspended throughout the water column that no booming operation or skimming operation is going to stop it from coming in our pass and getting in our backwater. Concerns me greatly. I don't know if that's a result of dispersants. I've heard all types of theory and conjecture, but I don't care. I just want it stopped, and we need to stop it out there.
Mayor Kennon, when you hear BP officials stand up time and time again in front of the microphones and explain how they're doing this wonderful job fighting it at the source, at sea, and on shore, and then you call them and tell them they're tar balls and they're not here, what does that tell you about their credibility?
We're 5,000 feet deep, and we're 40-something days into it, and it's still not capped, so they have no credibility with me from day one, because they should have had multiple contingency plans, or they shouldn't have been drilling 5,000 feet, or they should have had a relief well in place prior to drilling that well. So they have zero credibility with me, essentially, at this point in time. I don't know what to expect. That's the issue. I just don't know what to expect. When they weren't honest from day one with how much oil was actually being let loose, what do you do?
Is this the first time that you've had a face-to-face meeting with any of the BP officials?
This is going to be the first time I've had one with, I guess, a high-ranking official, and I am assuming this gentleman is one tier down from Mr. Suttles and Mr. Hayward, or is it Hayworth? And that's what we've been asking for. We've been asking for the CFO or one of his representatives, their accountants, who I know are not on boats mopping up oil, to come down here and sit down with us and let's work this claims issue out. I can't even get a phone call from them. And
Let me ask you this. Go ahead.
okay, the thing again, they're the ones who's on the national stage saying, we're going to make you whole. You can't have a claims process if we can't get a definition of make you whole and what that means. And I've been asking for a definition of that term now for 5 weeks. Still can't get it. I know what the definition is to me and my businesses, but it's obvious that the definition to BP is totally different.
Mayor, we've been hearing that a lot of people have been going to the hospital with flu-like symptoms, and doctors are telling them that they think it's because of the oil. Have you heard about anyone getting sick?
I have not. I can't comment on that.
Are you saying then, sir, that there's really no structure from them to the cities, to the mayors, to really give you the information and really connect back and forth at all?
I don't feel good about the structure at all. I don't feel the courtesy shown just in such simple things as what's happening day to day. We do have someone at the command center that is embedded there that we pay to put there, and hopefully we're going to be reimbursed for that, but we haven't seen that. But again, when the mayors of the two cities who right now may be the most economically affected, just from a pure dollar standpoint, can't get a sit down with a BP official to work through a claims process, that they've gone on national TV and said they were going to make us whole, there's a problem, a big problem. Our president really needs to do what he said he was going to do. If he's going to keep the boot to the throat, then he needs to quit talking about it, and he needs to start doing it. He needs to be down here looking over their shoulders, making sure they're writing those checks like they said they were going to do.
The president actually said in a story out this morning that after talking to Governor Bob Riley that the commander of the Coast Guard was supposed to come to Alabama today, and I'm taking it from what you're saying, you've heard nothing about that or know nothing?
Absolutely nothing. Nothing. Like I said, I didn't know about this. A friend of mine called and said he got it off a wire service or somewhere. That's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
Thank you, man.
No, thank y'all very much. I appreciate y'all being here.